Hey everybody, and welcome to Old Roommates. Today on the show, we revisit 1987's Lethal Weapon. So, grab your gun, go a little crazy. The show is about to begin.
Welcome, everyone, to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. This is Christina.
And this is Brian, of course, when I say grab your gun, I just mean, grab a seat.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, Brian.
And it's the times.
I'm sure when you said 1987, you meant 1989.
What?
Right?
No.
Are you sure about that?
I am sure about that. Lethal Weapon is 1987. Lethal Weapon 2 is 1989. Is this really how we're going to start this right now?
It says 1989 on this one.
What? Let me see.
It's the new year, folks.
Oh my god, wait.
That's what it says.
No, hold on.
Oh, no, it's wrong. So it's wrong on that site. It says Lethal Weapon, 1989, right? And then if you scroll down, it says the release date was 87.
Yeah, March. It's March 6th, 1987. That's so weird.
Wrong.
Google was wrong.
Wrong.
Oh my gosh. So yeah,
you're right. Lethal Weapon 2 was 89.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon 3, 92. Lethal Weapon 4... I don't know. And then there was a Lethal Weapon television series. There's a Lethal Weapon video game.
Yeah.
And I just found out that Mel Gibson will be soon directing Lethal Weapon 5.
With him? Is he in it?
According to Variety magazine. I didn't read the whole article, so I'm not really sure if he's starring in it or not, but I know he's directing.
Oh my heavens.
All kinds of Lethal Weapon stuff going on.
Well.
And, So, Brian, tell me.
So 1987, this was a big rental. It's a big rental for me and my sister. I remember watching this movie several times as a teenager. Mm-hmm. Never at the theater. I didn't see it at the theater, but on VHS. It was a popular rental. I recall truly renting it many times because it was
this was definitely a rental kind of.
Yeah, but and it's funny because I was 15, 16 years old. Well, actually, when it came on video, probably a little later. But I feel like I remember watching it a lot. And I don't know why, but it's action, not my biggest genre, not my favorite genre. But I definitely remember the butt of Mel Gibson's butt scene. The full backside.
It's not even just the butt; it's the entire backside.
Yeah, and I think I like the action. I mean, of course, I hated the torture scene, but I really feel like I've seen this movie a lot. I must have. I don't know, maybe someone in my family really loved it, or one of my friends really loved it, and they were always watching it. I don't know.
Did you own it, or
no? No, I know it's not my kind of movie, but I liked it.
It was just always on.
Always
maybe
on.
Terry was watching it all the time.
Maybe it was HBO. But there's absolutely scenes and lines and things that I remember so vividly. I remember the beginning.
Well, it was extremely popular. It was extremely popular.
So, but I can only say that I truly besides a few violent scenes, I think I really liked this movie back then. Yeah.
I definitely really loved this movie back then.
Yeah.
Are you done? I'm sorry.
The only thing to say is that I think some of it lost its luster with the more sequels. I always think it's just a bad idea, but I could be wrong. Christina, what about you?
No, I totally agree with you about the sequels.
Yeah.
I really liked this movie. I think this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this was the start of the cop buddy movies. Right?
The popular ones.
Yeah, I feel like it started that trend of
Tango and Cash.
All these
Turner and Hooch.
But I really liked it. This was my first introduction to Mel Gibson. And I will tell you, back then, I really liked him. Mm-hmm. I thought he was so hot.
Yeah.
I loved his character. I thought he was just we've talked about this before. I kind of had that bad boy kind of attraction anyway.
Yeah.
And he he was not only a bad boy, but he also had like that sensitive side and kind of
and
crazy.
Also he had an Australian accent.
Not in Lethal Weapon.
Not in Lethal Weapon, no.
But yeah, I think it was.
But his persona, his like interviews and stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I really liked the camaraderie between the two of them. I liked how they didn't like each other at first, and they grew to become friends.
Yeah.
I liked a lot about this movie, and I feel like I've seen it like a lot of times.
So funny. It was similar
yeah.
notes. And of course, I should have said that earlier. I love Danny Glover in this. Like I
He's
loved
so good
back then. So really quick. So you never watched the Mad Max movies? I never did.
No,
either.
no.
I've never seen Mad Max.
I'm not really a big action movies either.
But I was surprised I never saw Beyond Thunderdome because that's Tina Turner. But like, I never saw it.
Did.
So the budget here. Just a little bit of trivia to kick us off was $15 million. The movie made $120 million. It was a huge hit. Mm-hmm. This is also Richard Donner. Richard Donner directed The Omen.
Oh right,
yeah,
right,
and of course
right.
a million other movies like the Superman, right? Sorry, not the Superman. I was gonna say the Superman movies, but he didn't do all of them. And what else? Shane Black wrote this movie. Shane Black also did one of my favorite action movies of all time. Have you ever seen The Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis?
Yeah,
It's so good. So this was released March 6, 1987. We talked about then. When did you rewatch this?
I watched it about a week ago.
Okay.
So not too long ago, about a week ago. And I was waiting because we knew we wanted to do this for a while.
Yes.
And I had been waiting because Matt wanted to watch it with me. But sometimes it's just really hard to get us both at the same time, awake and ready to watch a movie. So I ended up watching it on like a Saturday morning while he was with Emily at Taekwondo. Mm-hmm. And it was I wasn't sure what to expect. I mean, with a lot of these movies, it's like, I really liked it. But, as we've known from different revisits, it's not always the same, watching it. So I was a little bit nervous to watch it. But I have to say, like, I feel like I remembered most of it. And I did enjoy it. I forgot. I really felt like Mel Gibson was good in this. Like, I feel like his acting was really, really good in this, especially like the crazy and the emotional parts. And I kind of forgot about that. Mm-hmm. I forgot like how good he was. Mm-hmm. So I was pleasantly surprised about that. I forgot a little bit about because the other thing too is it had like 4 sequels.
Yeah.
And I don't think I saw the 4th one, but I'm sure I saw the 2nd and 3rd. And sometimes with these sequels, a lot of like the storylines and the characters kind of get mixed up for me, just in my old mind. Mm-hmm. So I had sort of forgot about this whole like unsteadiness about him and the suicidal tendencies and the wife dying. It all came back after I started watching it, but I forgot about that, and I really appreciated that arc to it. Mm-hmm. And of course, Danny Glover was great. I really enjoyed him, although it did surprise me that he was turning 50. Because he was his whole shtick throughout all of them was, I'm too old for this, I'm too old for this. I'm like, oh my God, he's 50.
But what do you mean by that?
I feel like 50 is not old. I feel like 50 is not old right now. Back then I felt like it was.
I subscribed to that on rewatch. I was like, yep, yeah. Like, it's like for the kind of work he does.
That's true. That's a good
Woo!
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I want to say, to get this out of the way, oh my God, the acting, the two of them, excellent.
Excellent.
Like, you forget, and it's such a shame. Oh, shame. It's a tragedy with, Mel Gibson's personal escapades, because what's really lost here is like some really great acting, a really great action sort of franchise, and and this is the thing where it's like when we talked about this a little with Kevin Spacey when we revisited American Beauty, and so there are people that are like, absolutely not, they are dead in the cancel culture, right. They are dead in the eyes of pop culture. And when people say that, I'm like, well, then we are missing Annette Bening's performance in American Beauty. Right. We are missing Danny Glover's work in Lethal Weapon. We are missing Richard Donner's like big action moments that he put a lot of passion into Lethal Weapon and trying to make it like a sort of a John Wayne Western, really. And so the more research you do in these films, and yes, you have one fuck up, one movie star fucking up in a major way. Like, I don't think you throw out the art with the artist.
Yeah.
There's too many people involved in these
things.
There are
too many people.
Imagine finding out like your grandmother was like, or your grandmother or grandfather was set decorators on Lethal Weapon, be like, oh no, we don't watch that because Mel Gibson's in it. It's like, I'm going to watch the work my grandparents did. Thank you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And I'm not. This is not coming. I mean, this is no way in hell am I condoning any bad behavior from movie stars. But I don't think we should not watch movies.
Well, it's because it's like you say, it's not just that one person. It's everybody. Yeah. There's a million people.
And it's just a lot to get a movie even greenlit, let alone made. So I think
why should they suffer?
Absolutely, it's their art,
right?
But the acting is phenomenal by the two of them throughout, and so much though. I know we're shallow diving all over the place, but where the ending, oh my god, it was like a little bit emotional.
Right?
I was gonna say it a little bit.
I know,
because I felt really sad. He was gonna spend Christmas by himself,
mm-hmm.
and then when Danny Glover ever ran out to the door, and was
that was amazing.
Oh, thank God! And of course I remembered him doing that.
Yeah,
but as a grown up, it lands different because now you know people who have gone through loss.
Yes.
You know the importance of a good friend. And not only that, I would say, the even bigger importance sometimes of a good coworker.
Yes.
A coworker you trust and you love. I mean, we use that word work fam all the time. But it's like for these two guys, it was like their first oh no, I need this guy. He's my friend. And that feels so much more timely and through a middle-aged lens. Really authentic in this movie.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated the fact that he grabbed the dog at the end, too. He's like, oh, can I invite a friend? And he calls the dog in.
Yeah.
Although, one thing negative...
Oh, no.
I know, the only negative I had about that is the sound effects of the cat and the dog running around the house at the end.
Insane.
It's just so cheesy. Like, I wish they hadn't done that.
It
Like, maybe
insane.
Just a crash. Like, just a crash would have done that.
Yeah.
But it's like, it sounded like a cat. It's not like a cartoon cat.
Cats don't usually do that. They usually make one or two sounds and they run into hiding or they attack.
Mm-hmm.
But, or they hiss and stuff. But I think that was just for Danny Glover to end with, I'm too old for this.
Yes, for sure. But Crash would have done that.
True. Alani says 3 times in this movie, which I didn't catch the first, obviously the first time back then. But, it's great line. My first note, though, is actually super negative.
Oh, no.
Holy shit. The music, and I am not the Christmas music, the actual score.
Yeah,
because I'm really thinking wait, this was okay in the 80s.
Yeah,
it's so Christine. It is so saxophone heavy.
It's terrible,
jarring and loud. At times, I'm like, wait, is this? I thought there was something wrong with I watched this on I watched on Peacock, and I was like, okay, there's something wrong with the sound. It is so loud over scenes that are quiet. I'm like, just let the movie breathe. Let it breathe. It doesn't have to be filled with music.
They really wanted to throw that music in there for sure. I will say one point that you made was about the acting. I agree. It was great acting on both of their parts, and everybody actually in it was good. But I will say the unfortunate part is it being an action movie is another part that's unfortunate because I think people watch action movies and they don't really pay much attention to the actor. A lot of times the storyline isn't quite there and the meat of the actor isn't there because it's all about the acting. So I mean the action, sorry. Yeah. All about the action. And I really appreciated that part of it. It's it's an action movie, but then there's a lot of really good acting in it. Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
I concur. If we stick to the dramatic things like you're saying, I did find it just again a very later in life, middle-aged lens critique. Mm-hmm. But when Mel Gibson's name comes before even the production studio name, he's probably not going to kill himself 20 minutes into the movie, right? Because they even show the barrel of the gun that he's going to blow himself. Sorry. Cut. Oh my god, take two, because they're gonna really, like he's really gonna blow his brains out 20 minutes into the movie.
Right, but I don't think anybody thought
no, but
they would.
It's so heavy-handed.
It speaks to his state of mind, like he's ready to.
I completely agree. Yeah. I just didn't need to see a close-up point of view of his mouth on the gun.
That was
horrible.
I mean?
Like,
yeah.
It was just really.
And
I
remembered that from before.
Oh,
like, that's
how could you not remember it?
That's a visual because he's doing it in his head, and that's bad enough. But then when he actually puts a gun in his mouth, oh my god, that's horrible.
And it's his tears streaming down his face. It feels really sad. Feels authentic.
Yeah, it really
is. And so again, one of the pluses in this is like the butt still works.
Mm-hmm. Works
it's a good body, good butt. Even Danny Glover in the bathtub, I was like, oh, I don't remember feeling this way about him then. And he looks good with the beard. I was like,
well, now you're almost at his age. So
I know,
he's more of a peer.
But also, I liked him with the beard. And I was like, I don't remember having a beard in this. They only had a mustache. Then, of course, he shaved because his daughter said, "You look old."
Right.
Your beard's getting a little white.
Yeah. Speaking of that bathtub. Yeah. Did you find it odd that the family surprises him in the bathtub?
I mean,
I thought that was really.
Well, you know what I noticed? When they first open the door, there's not a lot of suds going on. And then as they get closer, clearly someone's like, we need some suds in this bathtub. The family's a little too close on that.
I would never, I have a very close family myself. I would never be walking on anybody in the bathtub.
No.
It just doesn't seem like something a family would do. Why do they have to do it
They don't do that. Well, who wants to blow up birthday candles while they're in a bathtub? Wouldn't it be nicer to have him walk out and see it
or just getting ready in the bedroom or at the table?
Wake him up in bed with a cake. That's super cute.
Yeah,
a bathtub is strange.
It was a strange choice.
Strange choice. Golden Girls sighting. So, Rex Huntington is not the actor's name, it's the character's name from the Golden Girls. Now, Blanche, at one point, I believe in season 6 or 7, was involved in an abusive relationship. Verbally abusive. Rex Huntington was his name. In this film, he is the heroin dealer with the gray hair, who... he's like the genius that doesn't get his hands dirty. The big boss, yeah. And he's equally big of an asshole here. That is a great episode of The Golden Girls.
Yes.
B. Arthur tells him off. It's amazing. But the actor whose name I did not write down, I apologize, is the heroin dealer here. Very effective.
Yes.
Yeah, but my next note is also negative. I want to be very clear. I really loved this.
Yes, I really
loved watching it over again. I hadn't seen it in a very long time, but
it was great watching it again.
I loved the action, the camaraderie. So much of this worked. My critiques are all based in middle-aged. It's really funny.
Yeah, funny.
My next note is, it is so loud. There is so much. There's so much yelling. There's so much yelling. Everyone in this is yelling. The cops. The shrink, the police officer, the doctor at the police department, the dad of the dead girl. Riggs yells a lot, as does Murtaugh. The suicide guy on top of the building does nothing but yell. And the list goes on and on. So, everyone is yelling.
Then the house explodes. Then the action itself is very
loud.
Yes, I agree. It was a very loud movie. I 100% agree. Speaking of the jumper, I love that scene. A lot of these scenes I watch and I'm just like, this is a great scene.
Yep.
It's just really well done, well written, unique.
Yeah.
I just loved that whole, the whole jumper scene was amazing to me. How he just walks in, he's like, because, his whole thing at the beginning, of course, it's just he doesn't care if he gets shot. He wants to die. He really does want to die. He doesn't have the guts to do it himself. He wants to be with his dead wife. But I love the fact that he just walks up and then you can tell he's really good at his job. And he's just that personality that knows what he's doing. He's smart. And I love that he's he's like, I just want to go over. I'm just going to talk to you. I'm just going to talk to you. And then he's like, offers him a cigarette, and then he handcuffs him. I remember all of that, and I remember how surprising it was when he jumped, because you don't see that there's a place to jump on yet.
Different joke.
And also be like, holy shit, like he really jumped. And then, and I love that he's like, get me out of this guy. This guy's going to kill me. And it's funny, believable. Mm-hmm. It was just really, really good. It's one of my favorite scenes. And
it's great because, like, on rewatch, you definitely clock that Murtaugh has said, just get him down.
Yeah.
You're like, I got him down.
Yeah.
So that's great. I will also say, and it's something that the movie does really well with, say, Richard Donner, the director, is like, when they go to see Trixie's house. Right?
Yes.
Well, there's a few of these moments where, like, you think... You kind of have an idea, like, it's going to be some gunfire. No, the whole house explodes. And it's a surprise for two reasons. One, it really explodes. The second one is there's little kids around.
Yeah.
And so there's this weird sense of security where you're like, well, there's little kids right there. And
it's a calm moment.
It is a calm moment.
They just realized, oh, wait, we should talk to this.
And she was willing to talk to them.
Yes. Yeah. And so they just walk into the house, and then all of a sudden,
it explodes.
Blam. So good. A lot of those surprise moments in this movie, which I really appreciated. Going back to that jumper scene after the end, and they get in this big fight. Like, so this is the first really big fight between Danny and Mel, and it's such a good fight. Yeah. It's such a good fight because, Danny's not sure, and no one's really sure if this guy's really suicidal, or if he's crazy, or if he's trying to pull his pension. Yeah. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, they're not sure if he's faking it and all this kind of stuff. You get in this huge heated fight. And Danny Glover pulls out the gun, or, I think Mel Gibson's holding the gun. Are they both holding the gun? He's away. He's like, yeah, and
he's like, I have this bullet. I have a bullet all set, and I'll, whatever. And he's like, right, is that the thing? And he's like, you want to kill yourself? And he...
Yeah, and he gives him the gun. Here, take my gun. Take my gun. Go. And he's screaming and screaming. He's like, because it just happened. He's like, he doesn't want to be with this guy that's suicidal, all this kind of stuff. And what was so... jarring is he pulls the trigger, and you see that crazy in his eyes, and he's all shooken up. Like, I think he's surprised that he even pulled the trigger, because he didn't know there was a bullet in that. And I thought that was like such a powerful moment. I really enjoyed that scene too. I thought it was so good, and now they're both like so surprised at what just happened.
Danny Glover is dripping with sweat in that scene.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then they're just both surprised at what just happened. He's like, Jesus Christ, you are fucking crazy.
Yeah. They did become great friends in real life through the making of this movie, and you can really kind of see it. Like, you see the friendship really grow.
It's such good chemistry.
Yeah, it's really good chemistry. I will say, Richard Donner did something really smart in this, and I did a little bit of reading on it. So they have that sticker in Murtaugh's house about apartheid. It's this political statement, and Richard Donner was very intentional. It was actually his choice. He said he wanted to say something about it, but he's like, you could never make a movie. He's like, so many times filmmakers, when they have a message, they make the movie about the message. They don't make a movie. And he's like, what I want to do is have a movie, but have a message sneak in there. And the other thing that happens is at Trixie's house...
The kids, the boy.
What does he say?
He says, Mama says police shoot black people.
Yeah. Mom says they only shoot black people. And how fucking crazy. Did your jaw drop?
Was shocked. I was like, are you kidding me with this?
Because that's something that is lost in a teenager. When I'm watching this
100%.
At 17 years old, I'm not paying attention to what little kids are saying in an action movie. But it's very smart. And it's like, so, grown-ups are watching this going, wait, what? Like, that wouldn't even have registered with me at that age. But, like, now I'm like, holy shit, Jesus Christ, this movie is... How old? It's almost, it's 2022.
Yeah.
This is 97, 07, 17. This is 35 years ago. And we're talking about the same fucking problem.
It's the same shit.
Same shit. Same problem.
It's insane. It's so
This is an issue in 87. It's it's still a major issue in 2022. This is nuts to me.
Yeah.
That was a big, middle-aged lens.
I wrote that too.
And then followed by something a bit uncalled for.
Mm-hmm.
When Riggs's jacket's on fire, and Murtaugh's trying to put it out, like clobbering him with his body, trying to put the fire out. And Riggs says, "What are you, a fag?" That didn't sit well
that
with
doesn't
me.
really
Didn't travel well.
No,
that didn't
did not
age well.
I did think it was interesting that they're like questioning the 6-year-olds without a parent in sight.
Well, Riggs doesn't even want to. He's like, what are they going to do? Great, we're going to have an APB out for Big Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, it's a little kid. He's not going to know. But he knew. I thought you were going to say, real convenient.
Of the same tattoo. That's another one of my little notes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cheap way out.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how else they would have done it with a 6-year-old, but still.
Sure.
It was, okay, wow, we have the same tattoo. So cool.
Family Feud is always on TV. Always. In the Murtaugh's house. Speaking of loud, holy shit. I love that scene. I love the shooting range scene.
Oh my God,
but
so
that
good.
is some damn loud shooting.
Yeah.
It's like, how come they get to wear headphones and we can't?
Right?
I mean, it's so loud.
I should have got you some headphones for Christmas.
I wrote A+ acting throughout Mel and Danny, and then when Riggs gets shot in the chest, and flies through the window, his like coughing and his pain and his freaking out and his anger. Oh my God, it felt so real.
Oh my God,
it feels so
real.
Like you felt the pain in your chest.
And it goes on for an appropriate amount of time.
Many times in this, agree.
It's like it hurts, and then 2 seconds later, he's totally fine. But no, he did a nice job. I did think, I mean, as far as storyline goes,
mm-hmm.
I thought it was a bit much. That it seemed, so this guy is kidnapping his daughter so that he'll talk and tell him what he knows, right? So the bad guys are kidnapping Murtaugh's
friends.
Daughter.
Oh God, no! Wait, oh, you're talking way later.
Yes,
okay,
I'm further.
Right,
I'm sorry, I'm going a little bit further.
Yeah, okay.
Shallow dives.
Yeah, I know.
Bouncing around.
Yeah, so they kidnap Murtaugh's daughter.
Yes, but I don't understand why they don't just kill him. Like, it seemed like a weird thing for this heroin dealer to do. If he thinks that this guy told the police, just kill the police.
Yeah.
Why are they going to kidnap the daughter?
Yeah.
In the hopes that this guy's going to tell him what he told him. It just seemed weird. It seemed like a weird... Or just kill the daughter. And then kidnap the wife or another child. Like, it just didn't seem tough enough.
Yeah. Because he truly says, we want to know what so-and-so told you.
That's what he wants. Yeah, he wants to know what they told him. So...
Why even bother with the daughter? Just grab him. Why grab the daughter?
Right.
Torture Danny Glover the way you tortured Mel Gibson.
Right.
And it's a strange choice.
It was a strange choice. In that the dating storyline, I know she wants to date this guy with the blonde hair and the dimples.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was sort of a weird thing. Like, I think they could have done that a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like it would have made more sense if we saw her leaving the house with him, like, willingly, because this is the guy that she likes. Mm. Or she wanted to date this guy after the fact. Like, it seemed like a weird thing. Like, she wanted to date this guy, mm-hmm. or she clearly already knew this guy, and then all the shit went down, and now it happens to be the guy that's related to this heroin dealer, and da-da-da-da. Like, this is Mr. Joshua.
No.
Are you saying no, or you're questioning no?
I think I'm questioning this. The guy that she likes with the dimples?
Yeah.
Didn't Danny Glover see him? And he's like, no, because when he smiles, I can see through his head. You're not dating him. I thought he was a younger guy.
Well, so this guy he was noted as the blonde guy with the dimples.
Yeah.
And then later on, they said it's the blonde guy with the dimples. And it ends up, she's with Gary Busey.
Oh, I thought that was just like
Just a coincidence?
A coincidence.
All right.
Oh my god!
I just don't know why.
Misunderstood because
Maybe I
took the dinner. I took the dinner thing as like Danny Glover's met this kid. That he's a kid. First of all, Gary Busey is so much older than this woman, this girl, and so it's like, to me, I was like, oh no, it's just a coincidence. And he's like, oh shit! Like when he's like, oh, let me guess, he's blonde hair and dimples. And he's like, yep. And then he's like, wait, because the other guy has them too, and he just wanted to make sure.
Right. I don't know.
Maybe I misunderstood that.
So you're making my point, though.
Oh.
You're making my point.
It's too convenient.
It's just a weird thing. Like, why throw that in there? If it's not the same person, why throw it in? If it is the same person, why not make it more obvious? Like, it's just a weird, oh, there's two blonde guys with dimples, and now is it two separate people? Really... Is it one person? Is it...
But how do they... it's so weird to me. Like, how do they know he's on the case...
Yeah, that part is just very, very...
It's a little cloudy.
It's very cloudy, very cloudy.
I will say, I thought the desert scene, where all the big showdown, and the daughter, and the car, and the helicopter, and and then...
so good.
My God. It is so intense. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, because to your point...
I love that we were not in on the plan.
Yeah.
And it was a nice surprise for all of us.
Yeah. The grenade that doesn't go off. It's not really a grenade. The daughter who has no clue what's going on. Then she jumps in the car and she takes off. And you're like, what the hell? And you do kind of feel like, oh shit, like Danny Glover could get really hurt in this moment. Or, where are we in this movie? They already think Riggs is dead. And could they just kill him because they don't really need him after he tells them?
I don't understand why did he just kill him.
Yeah.
And the other thing I didn't really understand.
I do think it's really well done.
It was so well done. Really creepy and you're on the edge of your seat wondering what's going to happen. And I kind of forgot about all the details that went down, too. I knew, the idea of it, but I'm like, what happens now?
Holy shit, it ends really bleakly. Like, there is no hope in sight. Mel Gibson is caught. The daughter's caught. Danny Glover is caught. They're all caught.
Everybody's caught.
All the good guys are caught. So it's done really, really well. It's very exciting. And yet, I still wrote the music's out of control.
The music is a little out of control. The other thing that I wasn't thrilled about, I loved the scene too, but at one point he's standing there. He's surrounded by, 30 guys?
In the desert?
Yeah, in the desert.
I think probably closer to 20.
Fine.
Yeah.
20 guys, all with rifles and whatever.
Yeah.
And he says, let me see her, and I'll come quietly. Like... They can just grab him. I don't understand why he thinks he can negotiate. He does not have the upper hand here.
Yeah, and the grenade, I mean, I don't know. Because he said, I'll blow us all up. Yeah. And he said, hold on. He pulled the pin.
But even before that, he's like, let me see her. Because it wasn't until they brought her out of the car. But I'm like, what makes him think he has
It was taking a huge chance.
Why didn't they just shoot him in the leg? He's always talking about how he shoots the prep?
True.
Whatever.
Good point.
Whatever. Anyway. But bringing in the daughter during the whole torture scene, bringing the daughter in, I remember that was terrifying. Like, Jesus Christ, what is he going to do with her?
Well, also, she's in her underwear.
She's little.
Oh, my God.
She's so vulnerable, young, and innocent, clearly. And, I mean, think about that, God damn.
Yeah.
Helpless to protect your daughter who's clearly going to be violated.
Well, also seeing and seeing your dad being beaten to a pulp. I mean, it's it's just that sequence. I did write. It's a hyper violent and intense. I mean, they really go for it. They're literally putting salt in his wounds. I mean, this is brutal. This is like brutal bad guy stuff.
And he's electrifying, electrocuting.
God. I know.
Mel Gibson's character.
Yeah.
It's
torture.
Really
it's just like you're just watching torture of the good guys, and it's really rough. It's really intense. It is hyper violent, but it is again really well done. I will say, Richard Donner, again, the director, was like, I'm gonna read. I did actually screenshot a quote because I was like, this is kind of how I feel about certain action and even, especially more particularly, horror movies. One moment, please.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, why? Oh my God, wait. Oh God.
I will say during that, so Riggs saves the day.
Mm-hmm.
He and that I remember that scene, him getting out of it and all that. Like that was so cool. So much about this movie is so cool still.
Well, the violent, like that when he basically like catches the guy in his legs.
Yes.
Oh my God, I was like, yes!
Yeah,
like, I remember being young.
Him.
I remember being young and feeling that way too. It was like, oh my God, good.
Because you feel, like you said, it was like bleak. Like these people, what are they going to do? And he escapes. He goes, he rescues Murtaugh and his daughter. And then he stops to put a shirt on.
Yeah. So
didn't think that was necessary.
I know. So Richard Donner, this is the quote I found. So it's like about Lethal Weapon, and he died recently, or at least last year.
Yeah.
I tried to make it more like an old-fashioned Western about Lethal Weapon. Sure, there were a lot of deaths, but they died like they were in Westerns. There were a lot of they were shot with bullets, but they weren't dismembered. I like action and a strong storyline. I like to turn my head away in suspense, not in disgust.
Ooh.
I think the audiences feel like I do, and that's why people like this film and come back to see it for a second time. And it's like that idea of I like people to turn their head away in suspense, not in disgust. Don't gross your audience out. You can tell a great action suspense story without grossing people
100%.
out, and that's how I feel. And this is
it's
really well done
the test
here.
of time.
Yeah.
It really has.
My next note is their plan was to drive the car into the house.
Mm-hmm. Not really the best plan.
No.
Nope.
They definitely cleared it with the wife.
Yeah.
The house, part of this is already under construction, right? Like the kitchen was under construction.
Right. So maybe it wasn't that bad, but still.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much he makes, but like, that's quite the strategy.
That is, quite a strategy.
I'm going to be honest with you, that my last note, I have one note left.
Okay.
The fight at the end.
Yes.
I
have notes on that too. I have one thing I'm just going to say is the shooting up in the club reminded me so much of the Terminator.
Yes.
Right after that,
yeah.
And then the car blowing up from the grenades. I loved that twist too. So the big heroin dealer is in the car.
Yeah.
They get in this car accident, and then you see that the grenade had fallen and the pin fell out.
Yeah.
And he just blows up. It was so satisfying to see this guy blown up. He was such an asshole.
And he was crawling at first. Like, it was really good. It was good.
Fantastic. I love that. So the rest of my notes are about the end as well. So why don't we take a quick break and we'll come back and we'll talk about the end.
Sounds good. Hey there, it's Brian.
And Christina.
And we have some exciting news. We now have bonus content on Patreon.
If you're a fan of old roommates or simply enjoy revisiting pop culture, we would love for you to check out our page at patreon.com/oldroommates. Patrons of Old Roommates can expect exclusive content such as special episodes, movie recommendations, special videos from us, and bonus content, among other things. Your support will help us to create more content, offset publishing costs, and expand our resources to improve your listening experience.
Whether you become a patron or not, we appreciate your support. Drop us a comment on social media, give us a rating or review on your podcast app of choice, or send us a message at oldroommatespod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Thank you for listening, and now, back to the show. And we're back talking about Lethal Weapon, 1987. Christina, we're going to talk about the final scene and get into our match game questions. Mm-hmm. What about the final part of this movie?
Oh my God, I have to say, I was like, seriously, now you're going to have a fist fight? After all of this, he's killed many people, including police officers. Either arrest him or kill him.
Yeah.
I don't need to see a fist fight on the lawn.
Yeah.
And he's surrounded by a bunch of cops. Who's going to allow this? To me, I did not like that. I did not like that ending. Although, I did like the very, very ending.
Yes, when they both shot him.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was satisfying to me.
Completely.
It's so cool.
Well, to that point, like, so I completely agree. I just wrote, this fight is so dumb.
Yeah.
And I just wrote, this fight is so dumb, and I underlined so 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote, really, boys? Because, what's the motivation here? It's pointless. Gary Busey, to your point, is surrounded by a million cops. So what does he think? If he beats him up, he walks away? He's being arrested.
Yeah,
Mel Gibson is actually... he's actually fucking shit up because, as we know, in our middle-aged lens, he's in police custody.
Yeah.
And he's being beat up by a cop.
Right.
So
imagine him walking after that.
If he walked away from that, he would walk out. He would walk away because he was abused in police custody. Like, no one's thinking here. This fight is dumb.
It's dumb.
It's
I don't
dumb
know
on
why
both
they
sides.
did it.
It was such a waste of time.
But it was absolutely awesome at the end.
And although the only thing I was going to say is if I could rewrite it a little bit, I think Murtaugh would have had his gun drawn the entire time. Because I think he knows how dangerous Joshua is.
Yeah, that's
Mr.
true.
Joshua. So, and he cares about his friend. And so he knows his friend is crazy, but he doesn't know how crazy the other guy is. Mm-hmm. And he seems pretty crazy. So I feel like Murtaugh would have had his gun ready anyway, but that's beside the point.
Well, and don't they have, 10 police officers surrounding
They're
him
surrounding
with their
them.
Guns drawn?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. Gary Busey,
it was a little bit weird.
Mr. Joshua's motivation is very unclear here.
And I do remember Gary Busey's character being terrifying back then.
Yeah, me too, but not so much this time
Not
around.
as terrifying.
It's a minor note, but it's valid. Yeah.
Still, it was a good performance.
Yeah.
But the fact that, he burned his arm with a lighter, that to me was oh my God, he's an animal.
Oh, he's sick, yeah.
And he wasn't that, he was just a bodyguard from that point on.
Right.
He didn't do much else.
Yeah. He laughed maniacally a couple times.
Yeah.
And again, just going back to the ending, I loved the ending, and I truly wrote, in quotes, this is real friendship.
Yeah.
It felt so, nice.
It really did
a surprising type of ending for an action movie.
Yes. I liked how the daughter answered the door.
Yeah.
And how he's how you doing? And she's like, I'm okay,
Right. That's
after all that. It felt real.
Yeah.
And then he leaves, giving the bullet, of course.
Yeah.
The fact that Roger, runs after him. And it didn't take a lot of convincing. I think he just needed an invitation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was, I thought it was great. It really, really felt believable.
Well, it was perfect, and I think the writing was really strong there, too, because he was like, if you think I'm going to have the worst Christmas dinner of my life alone, you're crazy. And he's like, hey, Roger, I'm not crazy. I was like, oh.
That's so nice.
Okay, yeah, so here's the big question. More, less, about the same?
I mean, maybe even a little more. I mean, I loved it before. I loved revisiting it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if at least the same, maybe even a little bit more. I was so, you know what it is? I'm so happy it stood the test of time.
Yeah.
So I have that almost like a relief and just so happy that it stood the test of time. Of course, Mel Gibson being who he is in real life is a little bit of an overshadow, but if you can put that aside and enjoy the Donner performance, the Danny Glover performance, just if you can put that aside, I still loved it.
Yeah, I think for me, I liked it more. A little loud, a little sadistic at times, a little nonsensical at times, but it still delivers on being really well acted, really great action movie. And just really well directed. I think this is probably really underrated as a directing thing. Yeah. But I thought this was a great movie. Just to put it in perspective, this is for Mel Gibson, this is after the Mad Max movies and before Tequila Sunrise. So right after this, he made Tequila Sunrise. For Danny Glover, this is after Silverado, after The Color Purple. Then it went Lethal Weapon, and then he went and did a movie called Bat 2-1. And then we didn't mention Darlene Love, but Darlene Love plays the wife, and very, I know we're just getting over Christmas, but she's Christmas Baby Please Come Home.
Yep.
Of course she did, He's a Rebel. But it was nice to see her.
And it was funny that we were talking about this earlier, that this is actually like a Christmas
movie.
movie.
Total Christmas. I didn't realize that.
We didn't even realize it when we chose it, but yeah.
So ready for match game?
Yes.
Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Just in case it's the same one.
That has yet to happen.
It almost happened once. What was it that we had one that was very similar?
Oh, because they were both about sort of this...
The same character. Yeah, I forget.
Oh, shit. Okay,
figure that one out. So, anyway, and please visit our Patreon site.
Sleepless in Seattle, it almost happened with.
Yeah, that's right, the radio show.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/oldroommates. We have a lot of really fun Christmas stuff up from the past couple of weeks, including our gift exchange.
Yes!
On video.
Yeah.
And that is open to the public. It's free for everybody. It's our Christmas gift to everybody. And there's a lot of other stuff that's free to everybody too, but we don't usually do the videos for everybody. Anyway, okay, so I have my match game question.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So Murtaugh.
Yeah.
He's always saying that he's too old for this. And I think he's right.
Oh.
Yeah. The other day, he reached for his gun and grabbed a blank.
Ding.
I'm glad you know.
What? You don't have an answer?
Okay, I got it. It's not great.
All right.
All right. Murtaugh.
This is a good question.
Oh, thank you. Murtaugh is always saying how old he is. He's too old for this shit.
Yeah.
And I believe he's right.
Yeah.
The other day, he reached for his gun, and he grabbed a...
I have to cover mine. I use the same piece of paper, but...
Oh, that's okay.
Reading glasses!
Oh my god! I almost did that! I almost did that, but I ended up doing a cane.
I was imagining it true. I was imagining it as more like in his pocket than a holster.
I know. Yeah,
ready for mine?
I am ready.
That was a great question, Christina.
Thank you.
All right, here's mine. Riggs says
yes,
he's not crazy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, at the end, he said that. But his parents feel very differently. In fact, as a kid, his favorite bathtub toy was a blank.
Ooh. Bathtub toy.
Riggs, played by Mel Gibson. He was so crazy. As a kid, his favorite bathtub toy was a blank.
All right, I'm just gonna wait.
Christina's looking up to the sand.
Okay, it's fine.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
Good?
Yeah.
Ding.
Because he's crazy, so it doesn't make any sense.
Ding.
Ding.
All right, Christina, his favorite bathtub toy as a kid was a blank.
It was a hairdryer.
Oh my god, good. So, mine was...
An electric something?
Yep. Toaster.
Oh, toaster. That's good. I was trying to think of an electric toy.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, everybody always says, be careful of the hairdryer in the bathtub.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, that would be...
And your answer is so much better than mine, because it almost looks like a gun.
Oh my god, I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Wow. Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon. And that's it for us in this episode of Old Roommates. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to Old Roommates on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And please give us a rating or review while you're there.
And if you're interested in more Old Roommates, including special episodes, bonus content, movie recommendations, and more, visit our Patreon page at patreon.com. That's patreon.com/oldroommates. Comments and ideas can be emailed to us at oldroommatespod@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Old Roommates.
Thanks again for listening. This is Christina.
And this is Brian. Until next time.